I don't know if I want to laugh or if I want to cry. This Ames, Iowa straw poll for presidential. There's a word for this thing, but I can't. Oh, yes. The word is hoodwinked. I'll talk about that in a sec. As well, I want to tell you about a sexual experience I had the other night, and it may have cost me my good gay credentials. Welcome back to Rob's Street Today. This is episode number 132, and I'm Rob Shen. I was going to say that the Ames, Iowa presidential preference straw poll was a popularity contest, but I don't even think that's an accurate way to describe it. See, here's the deal. It's like you go to this fairgrounds, and there are tents or hospitality areas set up all around, one for each of the candidates who are in the running. And at those places, you're wined and dined and given food and drink and maybe entertained, I don't even know. But actually to go inside and then vote for the candidate of your choice, you have to pay $30. So the candidates typically buy that for the people who want to participate. Like in the case of Michele Bachmann, she bought paid access fees for 6,000 people. It's $180,000 when you add that, multiply that out. But she only got 4,500 some votes, a little more than that. Well, damn it, if you give me $30, if you pay my admission, I am going to have my allegiance towards you. But anyway, so she won the straw poll. But she shares the front runner label with Mitt Romney, who wasn't there at all, and Rick Perry, who wasn't there at all because he wasn't even a candidate until later on that day. And then following her, but not by much, was Ron Paul. And after him was Tim Pawlenty. And he was so disappointed with his third place position that he dropped out of the race the next morning, all because these $30 ballots didn't come his way. But he was in third place. That's not bad. Well, let's little history here. The winner of the Ames, Iowa straw poll never gets the nomination. So it's all just one big hoodwink. What did P.T. Barnum say? He said, "There's a sucker born every minute." And as every sucker up and down the line, I don't know why this contest gets the credibility, gets the attention that it is given. It just does not deserve it. And geez, look who wins. This nutcase. Did you see her picture on Newsweek? Gotta love it. Married to this flaming queen who just has, watch this. This is her avoiding the questions as she's so masterful at with Anderson Cooper.
Good evening, everyone. We begin tonight keeping them honest with Congresswoman Michele Bachmann and her sudden silence on a topic she was once anything but silent about. Bachmann obviously won the Iowa straw poll on Saturday, but she also seems to be running from her own past statements about sexual orientation and civil rights, refusing to answer questions about her statements. And yesterday on NBC's Meet the Press, also insisting she isn't judging gays and lesbians. Watch.
Well, I am running for the presidency of the United States. I'm not running to be anyone's judge. I do stand
But you have judged them.
I don't judge them. I don't judge them. I am running for presidency of the United States. I am not anyone's judge, and I'm not standing in his
Congresswoman, do you think anybody hears that and thinks you haven't made a judgment about gays and lesbians?
That's all I can tell you is that I'm not judging.
So your words should stand for themselves.
I'm running for the presidency of the United States.
So she says she's not judging anyone, which, as you'll see in a moment, simply not true. But mainly, she's just not answering questions about her views on sexual orientation, which is a bit strange because the Congresswoman has never been shy on the issue before. As a state senator, she sponsored an amendment to Minnesota's constitution banning same-sex marriage. She spoke out sharply against homosexuality. She even spoke out against using the adjective gay in connection with same-sex orientation. That's how outspoken she was.
It's part of Satan, I think, to say that this is gay. It's anything but gay. If you're involved in the gay and lesbian lifestyle, it's bondage. It is personal bondage, personal despair, and personal enslavement.
Claiming that millions of gays and lesbian Americans are living in personal bondage or personal despair, personal enslavement, claiming that the very use of the word gay is satanic, sounds like personal judgment, certainly not a fact. She also refers to the gay and lesbian lifestyle, by which one can only assume she means it's a choice. Yet in the very same speech, practically the very same breath, Ms. Bachmann went on to describe same-sex attraction as a disorder, a mental illness.
We need to have profound compassion for people who are dealing with the very real issue of sexual dysfunction in their life and sexual identity disorders.
So apparently Ms. Bachmann believes it's both a lifestyle choice and also a sexual identity disorder. You should know that the American Psychiatric Association does not consider it any kind of disorder or mental illness. Now, Ms. Bachmann is, of course, entitled to her opinion, and it's an opinion many people in this country share. But what's interesting is that she's no longer willing, it seems, to share that opinion of hers publicly. For weeks now, she's been deflecting questions about her past statements by calling the question itself irrelevant or frivolous. This is the response she's given when asked about it.
I am running for the presidency of the United States. I am not running to be anyone's judge.
And I am more than happy to stand for questions on running for presidency of the United States.
You know, all of these kind of questions really aren't about what people are concerned about right now. I am running to be the president of the United States.
I am running to be the president of the United States. We get that, Michelle. Now tell us something. Answer a question, please. I don't know what to say. This woman has done so many gaffes. Like, how do you pronounce chutzpah? Chutzpah? What was the other one? John Wayne or John Wayne Gacy, getting them confused. Who was born in Waterloo, Iowa? And of course, this one just yesterday. Yesterday was the anniversary of the death of Elvis Presley. And so she starts and gets the crowd all riled up to praise and wish him happy birthday. Lord have mercy. And do you remember the other month when she was in, was she New Hampshire, Connecticut, wherever she was, and she made reference to the historical start of the Revolutionary War that happened right here in this state, and it was a state next door. You know, people, they blame it on, well, her handlers aren't doing their job properly or something, but some of the shit she should know herself. It's like nuts. And this ignorance wins the Iowa straw poll. You know, you don't know if you want to laugh or cry. I guess I'll have to sit here and laugh because I don't want you to see me cry. On Facebook, there's this page that's entitled, "Who's Smarter, Michele Bachmann or this turnip?" Go ahead and like that page. I have. And it gets worse because the rest of the field is not much better, if they're at all, like Mitt Romney, whose claim to fame, his greatest accomplishment was to bring health care to the people of Massachusetts. And now he's running away from that because it's Obamacare. You know, Tim Pawlenty was calling it Romney care for a while, but it's just it's a circus. All these clowns running around trying to become president. Maybe you're a college student living in a dorm. Maybe you just live in a small studio apartment. What you need to do is get over to dormco.com/Rob. Once you're there, you'll find all kinds of items specifically designed for folks living in small spaces. That's dormco.com/Rob. Do you remember when George H.W. Bush, the first Bush, made that famous statement, "No new taxes"? Well, how about a variation on that? No new Texans. Here's a word from the Texas Democratic Party.
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
I'm so I don't want to be the President of the United States.
Will you run for president?
No.
Would you accept the nomination as a vice presidential candidate?
No.
No, no, and no.
No, no, no.
If your intent here is to question where I would want to go any better than being the governor of the state of Texas,
That's what I'm getting
that
at.
place hadn't been made yet.
So sorry.
You might be a little surprised. You might be a little shocked. You might be a little appalled.
Rick, I look forward to having you by my side.
If you're not familiar with Rick, he took over as governor of Texas from George W. Bush, who's now referred to as the smart one.
I'm sorry. So sorry. Please accept my apology.
My skin is crawling. Maybe it's time to go to a different topic. Let's dump politics for a while. Now, how's that for a diversion? Now, that was an example. Those are examples of the style, the shape, the bodies that really turned me on. And I'm happy to show them to you. But I do not understand what happened to me the other night. I think I'm way too old for this to happen. I had a wet dream. I've never had a wet dream. Oh, I've had erotic dreams, yes. But usually I'll wake up and I'll take matters in hand and finish myself off. Not this time. It was the weirdest situation, and it's kind of foggy right now, but what happened was I was at like a fashion show or in a department store, and there was this hunky male model, totally nude, except he was modeling, well, what really would be like a condom. He was modeling the condom, but it wasn't a condom because it wasn't rubber. It was like a lace little sock type thing that form fit to his penis. And he looked great. So far, so good, right? Then the situation changes, and it's now me wearing that condom thing. And all the people, it's just like a department store, people walking around doing their business, but there I am, as like a mannequin almost. And someone comes up to me and starts manipulating and making me feel really good. No problem. And then the person takes it off and orally finishes me off. And I climaxed in the dream. Why is this such of a puzzlement to me? Well, why? I don't know why at my age now I should have a wet dream. But two, it wasn't a man. It wasn't one of those guys I just showed you. It was a woman. At least I think it was a woman. I suppose I could always say it was a drag queen, but I've never been aroused by drag queens. This is the most baffling yet delightful experience I think I've had in my sleep ever. As I said, it's the first time I've climaxed without manipulating myself in the sheets while sleeping. And then when I woke up, I wasn't sure if that had actually happened that way. Did I climax in my sleep? Well, the evidence was there, and I had. Maybe you have some abilities of dream interpretation or something can help me out here, drop me a line if you can. But I wanna have another one. I want another one. What do I say? I'm a slut. I think that's the first time I've ever spoken about any sexual or erotic experiences that I've had here on camera. You know what I found kind of odd just now? Usually, or very often, I'm here talking to you without a shirt on, and now I'm talking about something intimate and I'm dressed. Explain that to me, if you would. Thank you again for downloading and watching. I hope you enjoyed my little tale there. And if you would be so kind, please go into iTunes and subscribe, rate, and comment about this podcast. I really need your help in that one. Also, if you feel inclined, go to robsfeedtoday.com. Right in the right column between the two pride flags is a PayPal donation button. Please help us out that way as well. We'll be back shortly. I think thank you to the Texas Democratic Party for their nice little Rick Perry video. And I guess that's said enough right now, so that's all I'm going to say.
Are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.